And Mr. Miller, um, let me ask this. Are you aware of where Miss Jones currently lives?
Um, being honest with you, said the same thing, just like Miss Walker was saying. We last heard from the other tenants that she had came by Christopher Lane, and we haven't heard nothing else about that.
When was the last time that you knew of her being living at that location?
Shoot, when uh when uh when I got put out by the police officers and stuff like that.
When was she
So
put out by the police?
well, no, I'm talking about no, I'm talking about us. That had been probably like 3 months ago, innit?
No, it wasn't.
No, Miss Walker. I'm not talking to
I'm,
you right
I'm sorry.
now. Okay. So, and Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Miller, did you actually see the incident?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
I was right there.
what I'm going to do is just get some information from Ms. Walker first. So give us about
Yeah.
5 minutes, and then I'm gonna put you in a breakout room or a waiting room, and then I'm gonna get you back out of the waiting room in about 5 minutes. So it'll be about 5 minutes, and then I'll get your testimony in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mrs. Walker, you're already under oath. If you can just tell me briefly what happened, where it was, and what occurred.
Okay. First, this residence where we all lived was a pad split. Basically, we all rent a room there. Miss Jones, Curtis and I were upstairs. Miss Jones lived downstairs in the kitchen. She really wasn't supposed to be there. She was an eviction and would just constantly harass the tenants. She came in the night before. This was on May 22nd. I know it was May 22nd because it was my brother's birthday. She came in the night before, ranting and raving about a mop, beating on the door. And I'm like, we don't have your mop. We had a closet upstairs where we kept cleaning supplies. Unlock the closet because she steals. Let her look inside. There's no mop. The next morning, I'm getting up. Before I get ready to head out for work, I was making salads and smoothies to take to work with me. She kept there's like a little bit of space in between the refrigerator and the kitchen counter. And she kept forcing her way between me to put the broom between the counter, yelling. I have this stuff on video, and the officer.
Well, I didn't ask you what you had. I just had.
No, I'm sorry.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
So as I'm standing there just trying to make my food, she comes up to me, puts the broom on, because I'm trying to see which side I was on. That would have been my left side. She comes at me with the broom, and then she grabs my arm while I'm trying to make this food. And then next thing you know, her son is in there as well. Curtis and I were in the kitchen. And she basically kind of like attacked me, saying I took her mop. And I don't have any reason to take a mop, ma'am. And then from there,
you said that she grabbed your arm.
My arm, yes, ma'am. And she tried to hit me with a broom, but I moved.
Okay. Did she do anything physical to you other than grab your arm and try to hit you with the broom?
That's what she did. She grabbed my arm. She tried to hit me with the broom. And at one point, as she was grabbing my arm, she kind of like pushed me back. And I just didn't respond back with any return force. Her son came out, grabbing his mom, pulling her back. She went in her room. She's actually the one that called the police. And when the police came, she wouldn't come out. And I talked to the officer, told them what happened, and also showed them the rest of the videos of like her son making the threat.
I wasn't asking what happened with the police.
I'm sorry.
So what, she yelled at you about the mop, and then she came at you and grabbed your arm and tried to hit you with the broom.
Yes, and she slightly pushed me, but I kind of moved. She wasn't able to push me down. I kind of moved out of her way, like, because I'm not about to fight somebody.
Right to her, did you push back or did you touch her in any way?
No, ma'am.
And who else witnessed this other than you and Mr. Miller?
The only other witnesses would be her and her son.
Okay, so Mr. Miller, you're still under oath. Yes, you are still under oath at this point in time. So I wanted to ask, do you recall any type of physical altercation happening on May 22nd of this year?
May 22nd. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if you can tell me where you were and what you saw on that day?
Hello?
Yes, can
Yeah,
you tell me where you
my
were and
my
what you
phone.
saw?
So I'm sorry, my video keep going to in and out. Yeah. So basically so I was upstairs inside the room um sleeping. Matter of fact, and I just woke up to Angel saying Keisha pretty much downstairs inside the kitchen and stuff, and far far as I could remember, she pretty much had grabbed her arm, and me and her son pretty much was was like kind of breaking them up and stuff, and she was just calling her all kind of names, you know, pretty much like the B word and everything. Yeah, I'm about to come back in. Yeah, saying yeah. Uh,
Okay, so when you what did you see physical happen? You said you saw Mrs. Who grabbed whose arm?
yeah, I was saying Keisha pretty much had grabbed her arm and everything. Can you hear me?
Yes, so you saw Mrs. Jones grab Mrs. Walker's arm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where was that? Where did that happen?
That happened inside the kitchen.
Did was there any other physical contact between the two of them?
So no, ma'am. Just besides Keisha, she pretty much had grabbed her arm and kind of like had pushed her and yeah, kind of trying to grab the broom and was trying to hit her with the broom as well.
When you said she was trying to hit her with the broom, did she swing the broom at her, or how was it?
Yeah, I was saying first she had grabbed her by her arm, then they kind of like me and Keisha's son was inside the kitchen at the time. Then we kind of like broke them up, and like she had grabbed the broom and was trying to swing it at her. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that should be all that I need from you. You can go back into work. Thank you and have a good day.
All right.
Okay. So Ms. Walker, it is your intention, you do wish to pursue a criminal arrest warrant against Mrs. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and do you have her identifying information as far as her name, date of birth? Well, of course you have her name, but date of birth, height, weight, hair color, eye color. Do you have all of that information?
Yes, Your Honor. I provided it to the responding officer and the detective that called me.
Okay. So that's a yes then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what they will do is they will email you some information letting you know what your next steps are. You will need to come to sign, indicating that you still wish to go forward within 2 days by Thursday, close of business. And they will send you, it'll be the criminal division that's at I-285 and Memorial, 3630 Camp Circle. They will send you information in an email. If for some reason by Tuesday night you have not yet received that email, just give us a call and we can tell you via telephone the next steps that you need to take. But they should be emailing you by tomorrow evening around this time at latest with that information. And you'll need to come in to sign in order for us to move forward with the case. That concludes your hearing for today. Thank you and have a good rest of the day. And just so I understand, this person, Mr. Carlson, he's not anyone that you actually have children with or that you've ever lived with. He is the father of your spouse's children.
Yes, Your Honor. Correct.
And did anyone witness this incident other than you?
Just the kids. Elijah.
How old are the children that
he's 10 years old. Josiah, he's 8 years old. Zachariah, he was 4 years old during the time it happened in March. He turned 5 in April.
Okay, so just the children saw, or was there anyone else that witnessed it?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Who else witnessed it?
Oh no, just the kids.
Just the 3 children.
Me, Mr. Carson, and the 3 boys. Yes, ma'am.
Did the police ever come out and speak with the children or you?
No, ma'am. When it had happened and I had regained consciousness and I was able to call 911, it had took about 45 minutes for a unit to come out, and I stay on Glenwood Road on the main road. So they drove by the intersection. They came in the intersection. I was standing at the doorway trying to flick my light and to get their attention. But it was 2 cars. They had stopped at the intersection. I was flicking
I don't need to get all of that background.
Okay. But it took 4 hours for them to come and assist me with the ambulance.
But just the question I want to make sure I have the answer to. And I'm very specific about the question, so I want y'all to listen carefully to the questions. Okay. The police have never spoken to you about what actually happened.
They asked me what had happened in here. They had took the evidence, the weapon that was used.
So the police did speak to
they
you.
asked me, and
hold on just 1 second, Mrs. Hicks. Again, listen to my question. The police, you said they did speak to you. Because at first you said they didn't. So they did speak to you.
No, when they finally came. I'm so sorry. When they finally came.
Hold on 1 second. Just listen to the question. I don't need a lot of ad-libbing because that's not, okay. I don't need all that information. Sorry. But they did speak to you. And if they did speak to you, when did they speak to you? How long after the incident?
4 hours later, when they finally came.
When they spoke to you, did they ever speak to the children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No, ma'am. They have not spoken to the children.
The kids, Josiah.
Well, no, I don't need any explanation. I just need to understand.
Okay. No, ma'am. They never spoke to any children.
Okay. So the children have not been spoken to by the police since this incident has occurred.
No, not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
Okay. Was there any video footage of the incident? Any recordings of the incident?
I just have pictures. At that time, I was not able to record. I was just able to snap pictures.
So no, there is no recording of it. So again, I don't need you to ad-lib because then you're not.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
There is no recording of the incident that you're aware of.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Were you diagnosed with any injury, or what were your injuries from the incident?
I have a brain injury.
What did they diagnose you with?
Just the concussion to my head, and I have to follow up with a brain surgeon.
They said that
I had to get 17 stitches in my head. I'm sorry.
They said that the concussion and the and the injury to your brain came from this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
And you went to the hospital that night?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have the paperwork from the hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you sent that paperwork to the court?
No, ma'am.
All right. So that same email address that's in the chat, if you look in the chat, there's an email address. I'm going to remute you so that you can send us that paperwork. You can just take a screenshot of it if you don't have it in email format, and just send us a copy of the statement from the hospital, the medical bills, whatever they wrote. Send all of that to us, and then I'll come back to you as soon as I get that.
Okay. And is it okay if I get up and
yes, that's fine. So you can go on mute and you can go off camera and just get that done, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, and I just received the email. Okay, thank you so much.
So Ms. Royster, were you able to send that information yet?
Yes, ma'am. I sent it literally like 2 seconds ago.
Okay. Madam Clerk, were we able to receive that yet?
I don't have it just yet, but she said a couple seconds ago, so I'm going to give it just a minute. I'm refreshing.
Okay, so I'm going to just go we're going to do a recess until I get that. So as soon as you get it, Madam Clerk, just forward it to me and I'll read over it. If you get anything from any of the other participants or someone else just comes back, we'll come back in session, but I'll just be in recess until I have a chance to look over those documents. Okay, Ms. Royster, what did you allege that he did in violation of the order? What exactly did he do?
She, Victoria.
Oh, she, what did she do?
And in our TPO, it states that she isn't supposed to have any direct.
What it states in the TPO, I just asked you, what did she do? So what?
Okay, she had my children's father give one of my friends a call to say that I was emailing her school. She also posted me on her page as well, twice.
Okay, and when you say she posted on her page, did she tag you in a post or anything of that nature?
She didn't use attacking words, but she was basically harassing me, speaking about how I look.
Did she put your handle for Instagram or whatever social media it was on the post itself, or did she just say something on her page about you?
No, she actually posted my face. She didn't tag me or anything. She actually posted my face and my body.
And did she say that she was going to do anything in that post?
No.
Okay.
I mean, she says not specifically that post that I'm speaking of. It's several things she said she'll do to me, but in those two specific, as far as posting facts, she has not on those two.
Did she post any threats to you since the restraining order has been issued?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Has she told anyone to tell you something that you're aware of since the restraining order has been issued?
Yes.
Okay, what did she tell someone to tell you?
To not contact her school. She said that I was harassing her by contacting her school and email.
What did that person say to you? Said to them?
Well, there was a phone conversation that was given to one of my friends, basically stating that I was contacting her school and that I needed to stop. I mean, yeah, there's a whole recording, but that's basically what it was.
Okay. Did there's a recording of her talking to your friend?
There's a recording of our children. She's my children's father girlfriend. So she's told my children's father to tell me to stop contacting her school and harassing her. What my children's father did was contact one of my friends and told him to tell me, which is stated in the video, to stop calling her school or emailing her school.
Okay, and what is she referring to?
I'm sorry?
What is she referring to, calling the school and regarding to what?
I have no clue. It's harassing at this point because I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know.
Okay. If you have that you forward the recordings of whatever the conversation was to the clerk's office.
No, I can.
Okay. Well, you'll need to forward those, and then we'll listen to those. So go ahead and go back on mute, and then whenever you have a chance to forward those recordings, you can, and we'll listen to see them and see if they are meet the requirements. Madam Clerk, let me ask this. On the other case for Mrs. Hicks, did this ever get referred out to for a felony for a detective to investigate this case?
Oh, wait, did you say that's somebody else? No, she asking me.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
she was actually asking me. So give me one moment. I don't have an email stating that. I can check again.
So we've never sent it to the detectives or to the police.
Not
okay.
By a judge, no.
Okay. So Ms. Hicks, what I would do is I wouldn't make you come back to testify, but we normally do not do felony matters. And looking at your hospital records, if what you're alleging or what they're alleging is that there is injury that's going to require surgery and basically a traumatic head injury. So it's more than just a simple injury. It's typically going to be something that we have that's a felony, and we don't normally do warrants for felonies. We normally just do misdemeanors, more simple matters.
Oh, wow.
What I'm going to do is send this to the detectives that do those types of matters to have them look at everything. So I do see that you sent some pages. Have you sent every single page of the medical records?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I had
so
to
that
do
was
it
all
like
the
that.
pages. So you have sent all of the pages of the medical records?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. The records, do you have anything that shows your next steps as far as having to have surgery?
Let me see. It should be in the summary.
Have you taken any steps, I guess, towards that, or is you just been told that you need to have surgery?
They've been referring me to a brain surgeon. I'm just trying to figure out who is the best, you know.
So all I have right now are just 3 pages. Is that all that you have? You only have 3 pages worth of medical records?
Yes, ma'am. Roughly about 4 months ago, I had to go to the hospital to get my stitches removed. And I was also put on medication for my headaches and migraines I was having. I can't find that paperwork. I thought I had everything together. I can't find that. I was looking for it while I was away.
So it looks like it's a pack of paper. So it looked like whatever you were taking pictures of was more than 3 pages.
Yes. So all that was just telling me how to heal and
but it's more, just listen, hold on to the question. It's more than 3 pages total, right? It's several pages.
Okay. Did you want me to put, most of it is like how to treat my wound and victim advocate.
Why don't you do this? Because I want to make sure that you have everything that they're going to need. And since you only took pictures of 3, because you only took pictures of 3 pages of it, I want to make sure they have everything. So what you can do is bring all of it down to the clerk's office so that they can take a picture of it. And then, or they can scan it and then they can send it on to the felony prosecutor or the felony detectives that investigate these types of cases. Because again, I normally will not issue an arrest warrant for a felony matter. So I'm going to send all of this to that department so that they may be willing to go ahead and go forward and issue a warrant for the felony aggravated battery, or which is what it appears to be, versus just a regular battery. So we're going to refer it out. And then as soon as we hear from the detectives, we'll let you know. Okay. And if for some reason they will not, then I will send it over to the solicitor's office. But I'm going to see if they will look at it as a felony, since it looks to me a traumatic brain injury with several thousands of dollars worth of injuries. That seems to me to be a felony versus a misdemeanor. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But if you can come by, because that way you don't have to take screenshots and we can just scan it into our system. So we're open from 8:30 till midnight, but it's usually best if you come between 8:30 and 5 because there are a lot of people there. So just come down any day of the week to the courthouse at I-285 and Memorial, 3630 Camp Circle, so we can get that paperwork from you so we can go ahead and refer that to the detectives, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am, and I'll do that as soon as possible.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you, Ms. Manu.
Okay, have a good day.
You as well.
I'm going to listen to that recording and then we'll come back. We'll come back in session. Ms. Royster, I was able to hear the messages. Was there anything else that was done or was said other than that conversation?
I also sent her, I also sent you just, I guess, like her tweets saying that I emailed her school. What else did I send? And the other 2 were like the pictures that she posted of me. Like one was on her header and then the other one was like on her actual Instagram page.
Okay.
So if there isn't anything else other than those matters, that's not going to be sufficient for new criminal charges to proceed. So I would not find that there was probable cause that she stalked or violated that family violence order that's currently.
So, I mean, because.
So it's not necessarily up to discussion. If you have any additional evidence that you failed to give, you can give me some additional evidence, but without any additional evidence, I don't have enough to say that she's violated the order. She may have done something that's annoying to you, but that is not going to rise.
I'm just going by what the TPO says. She's harassing me. So and she's lying on me. She's having people call in the
TPO. Wants to say, and she can do whatever she wants to do.
So she can post my face even though that there's a TPO.
Yes. So again, she has not done anything that is against the law at this point. And the message that I heard, he says that he's asking that the friend relate message to you for him.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You were breaking up.
So I didn't hear anything where she specifically says something. And even if she did, again, that's a recording from somebody else that's saying what they think that she said. So it's just not going to be enough to rise to that level. So that will take care of that hearing for the day. If you have any disagreement, you can always talk to the prosecutor's office, or you can talk to the police yourself to see if they're willing to move forward. But I don't have enough at this point to move forward on a warrant against her for this.
I mean, I've already speaking to the police. That's why I was.
So that's all that can be done at this point, is what I've said. So I do not find that there's probable cause. And if you disagree, you can speak to the police again, or you can speak to the prosecutor's office to see if they're going to be able to do something. But I'm not.
Are you able to give me their number?
I don't have those numbers to give you, but whoever you contacted with the police department in the past, you can contact them, and you can always contact the prosecutor's office in DeKalb County. Okay, thank you and have a good day. That will conclude your hearing. And Madam Clerk, were we ever able to get audio, whoever's here for the Reliance case?
No, ma'am, and I've been sending chats constantly asking to connect, let them know that he won't be able to participate in the hearing if he's not connected.
Do we know which case he might possibly be on? Like, is there any indication of, I don't see any cases that seem to have a business.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I asked what his name was, what case was he here for? Nothing has been answered. So.
Okay, no, that's fine. So what we'll do then, we can go ahead and conclude the hearings for today. And then once we're done with the YouTube and the Zoom, I'll go ahead and go back through the calendar just to make sure we have all announcements.